happy Wins Wednesday. Wanted to share a couple of things with you that we've been thinking about here at ABCI. As you know, we've talked in the past about the fact that prices for everything are rising this year. Prices for software, prices for labor, other things like that. We're talking about raising our prices. And of course, we're evaluating every single expense with a very critical eye because of that. I'm sure most of you are probably in the same boat. But one of the things that we were considering is, should we renew our NBAA membership? And to be honest, this is the first time we've actually really given that serious thought. In fact, we have discontinued some of our association dues and things like that just because it is so expensive to be a member of many different organizations and associations. And, my feeling is if you are not all in with an association and, being part of a committee and doing all of the things and, able to devote time as well as money, then you really shouldn't just give them your dues. Simply because as a small business, you have to be really discriminating about how you spend your time and your money. So we did renew our membership into NBAA, and I'm glad that we did. And I wanted to share three things basically that we learned from the NBAA Business Aviation Conference and Exhibition in Las Vegas this year. So first thing that we learned is that demographics are changing. So if you've been to an NBAA conference at any time in the past, you've probably noticed that the demographics are pretty similar. NBAA has been doing a lot toward making their offering more attractive to younger people. They have a professional membership that's a little less expensive. They have student memberships, other options like that. They have their YoPros program, and they have their 40 under 40, all of which they've started, fairly recently, or, at least in the last 5-10 years, in order to attract more young people into the organization. And I think that's a good thing because for the industry to be healthy, you have to have people becoming interested in aviation, people becoming interested in all types of roles and careers and things like that in the industry. So kudos for that, for NBAA, for working on changing their demographics. Thing number two is that business models are changing. So as an example, a lot of brokers are finding that the inventory is so low that they are having a hard time finding listings for aircraft. And so, they're shifting their business model to where they are doing consulting, where they're helping people find and acquire an aircraft. So basically, they're adjusting for the market, just as textbook capitalism calls for, find a need and fill it. And, my hat's off to them for finding a way to adjust their business model. And instead of being, looking for listings in a market where there aren't very many, adjusting their thinking so that they can offer their services to people that need them in today's market, not in the market of a year ago, right? That's thing number two, business models changing. Number three, people are getting up to speed or getting out of the industry. With all of these things that are changing, with, getting into digital marketing, using QR codes for contests, doing a lot of these innovative things that, doing sales via Zoom. A lot of people were at the conference, but they were also following up or, making plans to follow up using electronic means. So it wasn't just the exchange of business cards and the handshake and the, we'll fly to Baltimore next week to finalize this deal. Most of the things that were happening were things that were hybrids, hybrids of using technology and also the in-person interaction that is so important in the aviation industry. And it's still so important in the aviation industry. A lot of people ask me, were there as many people at the conference? Did you really get your money's worth out of attending this year? And I think the answer is yes. It was a different conference. There were fewer people there. But, one example is that we were able to actually hang out with a young lady who is just, getting interested in the industry. She's a flight attendant, and I'm not going to mention her name because I don't have permission, but a flight attendant who's becoming interested in sales and marketing careers. And so we spent a whole hour, John and I, having coffee and looking around the room at the different opportunities and talking about the pros and cons of them and things like that. And, normally we do half-hour consultations with people, and we probably would not have had time for someone who is, just kind of a job seeker and, spending that much time with someone who is just kind of exploring their options. And those kinds of conversations really make it worth it. And they really make it, you never know where they're going to lead to in 5 or 10 years. So I think we had definitely a quality over quantity situation with the conference this year. And, although I missed a few of our friends and colleagues and others that chose not to attend, and that's perfectly fine. I'm sure they found ways to make that time valuable and things like that. But I'm glad we went, and I'm glad we renewed our membership. And, again, we're really selective about those kinds of things, but that's where we are. And I'd love to hear what you think. What was different this year? Did you go? Did you not go? What did you do instead? If you did something, and so on. So let me know.